My name's David, and I work as a private investigator. It's not as glamorous as the movies make it seem. Most of my cases involve cheating spouses or missing pets. But about a year ago, I got a call that changed everything. It was a woman named Emily Barnes. Her voice trembled as she explained that her husband, Adam, had gone missing. She didn't want to go to the police yet, fearing it would attract unwanted attention. "Please," she said, "I just need someone discreet to find him." At first, I thought it was just another case of a guy running off. But as I listened, I sensed there was more to the story. I agreed to take the case, not knowing it would pull me into a mystery I'd still be trying to untangle. When I met Emily at a small cafe downtown, she looked exhausted, like she hadn't slept in days. She explained that Adam, a successful tech entrepreneur, had been acting strangely for weeks before his disappearance. He'd been distant, staying out late, and locking his phone away. "I thought he might be having an affair," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper, "but then he just vanished." She handed me a small folder of information, Adam's recent photos, his last known whereabouts, and a copy of their phone bill with a series of unrecognized numbers. "Please find him," she begged. "I just want to know the truth." I promised to do my best, but something about her story didn't sit right with me. My first step was to visit Adam's office. His assistant, a nervous young man named Peter, confirmed that Adam hadn't shown up in over a week. "He seemed stressed lately," Peter said, "like something was weighing on him." I also checked out the last place Adam was seen, a gas station on the outskirts of town. The security footage showed him filling up his car late at night. He looked agitated, glancing around like he was being followed. But after that, the trail went cold. His credit cards hadn't been used, and his phone was turned off. It was like he'd vanished into thin air. Just as I was running out of ideas, Emily called me in a panic. "Someone left this on my doorstep," she said. It was an envelope with a single photo inside. It showed Adam sitting in a dimly lit room, looking terrified. There was no note, no explanation, just the photo. I asked her if she recognized the room, but she shook her head. "What does this mean?" she asked. I didn't have an answer, but I knew one thing. This wasn't a simple case of a man running away. Someone had taken Adam, or worse. Determined to find answers, I dug deeper into Adam's life. That's when I found out something Emily hadn't told me. Adam was involved in a lawsuit with a former business partner, a man named Victor Crane. The case was messy, allegations of stolen ideas and millions of dollars at stake. I tracked down Victor, who claimed he hadn't seen Adam in months. But his smug attitude and evasive answers made me suspicious. "If you're looking for Adam, good luck," he said with a smirk. "He's probably hiding from more than just me." What did he mean by that? And why hadn't Emily mentioned the lawsuit? The deeper I went, the more questions I had and the fewer answers I found. Just as I was piecing together Adam's lawsuit drama, I received a text from an unknown number. "Stop looking for him. This isn't your business." It sent a chill down my spine. Who was this? Victor, someone else. The message wasn't threatening, but it was clear someone didn't want me digging any deeper. I tried to trace the number, but it led to a burner phone. Whoever sent it knew how to stay off the radar. Instead of backing off, it only made me more determined to figure out what had happened to Adam. I went back to Emily, pressing her for more details about Adam's recent behavior. At first, she hesitated, but eventually, she admitted something she hadn't told me before. Adam started meeting with someone a few months ago, she said. He wouldn't tell me who it was, but I saw a name pop up on his calendar. S. Monroe. The name meant nothing to me, but it was a lead. After some digging, I found a connection, a man named Samuel Monroe who had a criminal record involving fraud and extortion. He'd recently been released from prison and was last seen in the same city as Adam. I decided to follow the financial trail. Adam's credit cards were unused, but his bank accounts told a different story. Large sums of money had been withdrawn in cash over the past few months. It was almost like he'd been preparing for something or someone. When I showed Emily the bank statements, she looked genuinely surprised. "I didn't know about this," she said, her voice shaking. I wasn't sure if I believed her. The withdrawals lined up with the time Adam had started acting strangely. It seemed like he was either running from something or paying someone off. While I was digging into Samuel Monroe's background, I noticed a car following me. At first, I thought it was a coincidence, but it kept showing up at the grocery store, outside my office, even parked down the street from my house. One night, the car pulled up alongside me as I was walking to my front door. The window rolled down just enough for someone to toss a folded piece of paper onto the ground before speeding off. The note read, "Last warning, walk away." I knew I was getting close to something big. The breakthrough came when I found an old property registered under Samuel Monroe's name, a rundown warehouse on the outskirts of town. I staked it out for hours, watching as different people came and went. Late at night, a black SUV pulled up, and 2 men got out. One of them was unmistakably Victor Crane. I knew I couldn't just barge in, so I waited until the coast was clear and broke in after they left. Inside, I found a small room that looked eerily similar to the one in the photo of Adam, same peeling walls, same dim lighting. But Adam wasn't there. All I found was a notebook filled with cryptic notes and a list of names. Adam's name was on it, along with several others. Some were crossed out. The notebook was a gold mine of information. Each name on the list had notes scribbled beside it, dates, locations, and cryptic references like settled, pending, or neutralized. Adam's name had pending next to it. I took the notebook to a contact of mine, Lisa, a former journalist who specialized in investigative work. She recognized a few of the crossed-out names. "These are people tied to high-profile financial crimes," she said. "Some of them vanished without a trace." Lisa and I dug deeper into the notebook. The connections led to a larger conspiracy involving Samuel Monroe, Victor Crane, and a network of illegal activities, blackmail, extortion, and possibly murder. Feeling the pressure, I confronted Emily with what I'd found. At first, she played the role of the worried wife, but when I mentioned the notebook and Samuel Monroe, her facade cracked. She finally admitted the truth. Adam had been laundering money for Monroe's criminal network. When he tried to pull out, things turned ugly. Emily claimed she had no choice but to hire me because she was being watched and couldn't go to the police. "You were supposed to find him quietly," she said, her voice desperate. "Now they know someone's digging around." I realized Emily had been withholding crucial details from the start, likely to protect herself. With Monroe and his men now aware of my involvement, time was running out. Lisa and I worked tirelessly to connect the dots. We found out that Adam had tried to create an escape plan, siphoning off money from Monroe's operation into a hidden account. But Monroe wasn't the only danger. Victor Crane had his own vendetta against Adam, accusing him of sabotaging their former business. It became clear that both men had a reason to want Adam gone. The more we uncovered, the more it seemed Adam might already be dead. But there was one last lead, a suspicious transaction leading to an abandoned cabin outside the city. I made my way to the cabin, armed with nothing but a flashlight and the nagging feeling I was walking into a trap. The place was eerily quiet, with the faint smell of gasoline lingering in the air. Inside, I found signs of a struggle, overturned furniture, broken glass, and blood stains. In the corner of the room was a laptop, its screen cracked but still functional. On it was a draft of an email from Adam, addressed to Emily. "I'm sorry for everything. I made a mistake trusting them. If you're reading this, I didn't make it out. Don't trust anyone," especially the email cut off there. Suddenly, I heard footsteps outside. Before I could react, the door burst open. It was Monroe and one of his henchmen. "You've been a real pain, you know that," Monroe said, his voice cold and calm. He demanded the notebook, threatening to end things right here if I didn't comply. Thinking fast, I threw the laptop at the henchman, grabbed a heavy chair, and smashed it into Monroe, giving myself enough time to escape out the back door. I ran through the woods, dialing 911 as I went. When the police arrived, Monroe and his men were gone, but the evidence at the cabin, combined with the notebook, was enough to tie him and Victor Crane to multiple crimes. Epilogue: what happened to Adam? Despite everything, Adam was never found. The notebook and laptop suggested he might have been planning to fake his own death to escape both Monroe and Crane, but there was no proof he succeeded. Emily disappeared shortly after the case went public, leaving behind more questions than answers. As for me, I've taken on dozens of cases since, but none as haunting as this one. I'll always wonder if Adam managed to outsmart everyone or if he became just another name crossed off Monroe's list.